Hello, this is NTA Nationwide News, broadcast live from Abuja. I am Ifoma Ojintang. You can watch this news live on our website, www.nta.ng/live, and all other social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thanks for joining us. And we begin with FEC. And this report is for the traveling public, as the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, has apologized to passengers for the difficult moments they experienced as a result of the strike action embarked on by the nation's aviation workers. The minister, while speaking on the now suspended strike action, regrets the industrial action ever happened at all, as there are laid down procedures of dealing with grievances. He promised that such disruptions will not occur in the future.
And the reason is simple. Aviation is an essential service. The act has been assented by Mr. President. So strikes and riots around our airports are prohibited by law of the land. And now that we have the act in place, assented by Mr. President, passed by National Assembly, we will deal with it according to the law. We will ensure that no essential service is being disrupted by anybody, no matter how aggrieved. There are other channels of channeling issues when they arise, but they are not permitted to hold strike because aviation is an essential service and is by the law of the land now. I'll give you an example. There was a Naira return. There is a return by one of the airlines back to base because they couldn't land. Imagine if there's a patient in that aircraft. Imagine somebody tending to a very serious issue or matter at hand, or business, or a student trying to catch up with an exam, or something like that of that kind of nature. And then because of some body who's aggrieved, some other person will die. Government will no longer allow that. So it's in the law of the land. You check the FAN Act, it's been assented to, and it's going to take place soon. In fact, now, from today.
Hadi Sirika also appeals to the aviation workers, stressing the readiness of governments to listen to any grievances with open ears and mind.
Ears are always open. Government is open to listen to any grievances, and there are procedures for dealing with this kind of grievances. They should please desist from this. It is wrong. It is inhuman. It is not allowed. It's not permitted. We will not be permitting it any longer.
The minister spoke to State House correspondent Jide Onifade on the sideline of the Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. And now to legislative matters. Senate has called on the Inspector General of Police to investigate the killing of a Catholic priest in Niger State, Reverend Father Isaac Achi, and a councillor, Saleh Alawa, in Niger State. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Challenges of insecurity started the day's proceedings. The killing of a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Isaac Achi, and a councillor, Saleh Alawa, in Niger State were tabled on the floor by Senator Sani Musa. Senators were unanimous in the call for investigation and prosecution of the perpetrators and for the National Emergency Management Agency to rebuild the church destroyed by the attackers.
Aware also that the late Reverend Father survived multiple attacks and was also abducted in Madela and spent days in captivity until his church members raised some ransom before he regained his freedom.
Look at the several attempts that he survived assassination. It invokes so much empathy.
Urge the Nigerian police and other relevant security agencies to carry out comprehensive investigation of these dastardly acts and to promptly arrest and prosecute the perpetrators. Condole with Bishop of Mina Diocese, Catholic faithful, and the bereaved family.
It also urged security agencies to investigate the disappearance of Deputy Commandant of the Security and Civil Defense Corps, Raymond Gadi, in Yenegua, Bayelsa State, as moved by Senator Emmanuel Oke Jeff. Security issues continued on the floor as Senate confirmed the appointment of former Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase as chairman of Police Service Commission. Senate Committee on Police Affairs, which screened the nominee, presented its findings.
The committee was satisfied and impressed with how the nominee competently answered all the questions posed to him, as well as his qualification and relevant experience, and hereby recommended that the Senate confirm the nomination of Dr. Solomon E. Arazi, CFR, as chairman of the Police Service Commission.
The Federal Medical Center Okigwe Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Frank Ibezim, passed second reading.
3. To run an effective and cost-effective medical services to Nigerians, and lastly, to review and update medical findings and research from time to time.
Senate concurred on 7 bills. These include a bill that seeks to remove the National Assembly from the contributory pension scheme and establish the National Assembly Pension Commission. Senate has adjourned to 28th of February 2023 to enable members participate in the ongoing electoral process. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives has asked security agencies to fish out oil marketers and other economic saboteurs that may be responsible for persistent fuel scarcity across the country. The lawmakers also mandated relevant House committee to conduct an investigation on the matter, just as it resolved to invite regulatory body in the sector for a meeting with leadership of the House of Representatives. Sequel to a motion from Representative Leke Abejide, the House wants the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, being the sole importer of refined petroleum products, to find ways of easing the queues at filling stations. House members noted with concern that despite the approval of subsidy by the federal government, some saboteurs deliberately manipulate the system and cause hardship on Nigerians. And the seemingly undersupply of fuel in most independent petrol stations has continued like an unresolved puzzle. It is even more baffling that while designated petrol stations look like they are dry during scarcity, illegal fuel vendors are always operating right in front of these petrol stations, preying on people's desperation for fuel. Now, where is their product coming from? Are petroleum marketers complicit? Well, let's try to find some answers to these questions in this report by Lydia Sampson.
Yunusa Ibrahim's excitement as a petrol hawker resonates with others in the unwholesome business. For them, it is simply about taking advantage of the scarcity whenever it arises to make some quick money.
I come to hustle for this Abuja. I try to hustle, to chop, to do everything. Now for black market, now only black market we can't do for here. It's all good.
They reveal how and why they never run out of the product.
Almost 2,000 something. You go give them bribe almost 300 for pump attendants. You from now machine go buy them inside. Your machine go buy them, your machine go sell them for you. Almost 3,000, 3,001. You go sell them 4,000, 35.
Motorists who patronize petrol hawkers, popularly known as black marketers, say to avoid the long delay of joining queues, the black market is the only available option.
I saw the queue yesterday. I couldn't do it. Immediately I came from work. What do? I bought black market 10 liter.
I don't want to buy adulterated fuel. That's why I come into the station. No matter how long I have to queue, I just come in and buy my fuel.
So I had one experience when I bought from the black market. Within 2 minutes, my car off. I couldn't move until they told it and they had to wash my fuel tank.
If the fuel in my car can't take me out, I would rather park rather than patronizing them.
There are some people who can afford the black market. They don't care. They will come and park their Jeep, put 2-3 gallons on it. They will drive off.
Yes, selling fuel outside is very dangerous. It can be explosive at any time.
However, there's good news in the horizon, as key players believe the terminal and bulk storage regulation of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority will help in mitigating issues around scarcity.
We should have strategic stock across the country, up country, and there are storages everywhere, even though pipelines need to be revamped. So this regulation addresses that need.
On allegations that some NNPC limited retail stations are complicit, key players believe it's simply a rush towards uniform prices that only the NNPC limited retail stations offer across the country.
As of today, NNPC retail is the only
oil companies that sell fuel at uniform price the whole country. So you would expect the same price in Lagos, the same price in Abuja, the same price in Katsina. So many people will go there, and because of that, a lot of people are very envious. NPC cannot do that. They are trying their best, and you know, when you even merge or you acquire, you have some teething problems. I do not expect this thing to happen, and it's not possible with the current management.
While independent marketers insist that their members are not supplying petrol vendors, Yunusa Ibrahim and his black market cohort say for them, business is not just good, but exceeding their expectations. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Barely a week to end exchange of the old Naira notes with the redesigned currency by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the mood in Gaidam and other communities in the eastern axis of Yobe State is more of apprehension and uncertainty as majority risk losing their hard-earned incomes due to lack of commercial banks in the locality. Mustafa Yusuf, who was at the area to assess the situation, reports that Gaidam is among the 4 out of 17 local government areas of Yobe State without a commercial bank.
Abubakar Muhammad is a 50-year-old Nigerian who lives in the Pap province in the neighboring Niger Republic, from where he crosses the border to conduct his legitimate business and add value to the nation's economy. Just like other Gaidam residents, life is increasingly becoming unbearable following the CBN stance to end circulation of the old Naira note with those redesigned by the end of this month, as more than 70% of commercial activities there are being conducted in Nigerian currency and outside the banking system. This time around, Abubakar was forced to abort his mission due to non-availability of the new notes. This ordeal was further corroborated by a POS operator who alleged of paying 60,000 Naira for every 1 million Naira note in order to stay in business. This development has severely affected the economy of most families, including livestock dealers, whose leadership lamented that before the issue of swapping of the new Naira note came up, 150 trailers used to convey livestock to other parts of the country.
Please, we are pleading to the government, both the state government and the federal government and the central bank, to come to the aid of our people. Our people are suffering.
The deadline, but they say is next week. But next week, up to now, we not get the new money here.
And then the new money, there is no any new money now. Our people are suffering.
A peculiarity that aggravates the situation in Gaidam is lack of a commercial bank in the area to facilitate implementation of the CBN policy with ease, following the destruction of the only existing bank then by Boko Haram insurgent in 2011, and up to today, none was established for the fear of the insurgents. From Gaidam in Yobe State, Mustafa Yusuf Musa, NTA News.
Lagos is our first stop nationwide, and Hingino is our guide. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Ifoma, and welcome to Lagos. With the Lagos Blue Rail unveiled for utilization by President Muhammadu Buhari, residents have lauded the project, describing it as a welcome development capable of impacting positively on the socio-economic life of the state. This is what Lanre Bilei gathered from the people while interacting with them.
No activities is going on here at the Marina Blue Rail train station in Lagos. Our findings told us that the staff have been given a break after the euphoria of unveiling this beautiful station by President Muhammadu Buhari. That does not diminish the fact that this is an unprecedented move by Lagos State government to establish a better transport system in and around Lagos State.
Lagos residents speaking on their expectations as the rail project becomes a reality.
My own projection, when it is done, of course, what it will really is a traffic situation in Lagos, because as we all know, Lagos is very, very hectic when it comes to traffic situation.
Business to be done faster. Even the stations themselves, they will create, aside of the direct job of those that will be employed, it's also creating direct jobs, those that will be selling there.
It's going to go a long way in terms of transportation to realize the traffic and
A lot of things.
Movement of products, movement of people from one place to another. It's going to be very, very easy.
With positive anticipation, they await the actual commencement of services and other activities at the station. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
While the Kirikiri Lighter Terminal of the Nigeria Customs Service has its sight fixed on countering smuggling activities, enhancing trade facilitation and ensuring that every kobo due to the federal government is accounted for, it is equally prioritizing the health and welfare of its officers and men. A facility instituted for such purpose is equally serving the command's immediate environment. Michael Olale reports.
The Kirikiri Lighter Terminal of the Nigeria Customs Service is one of the most affected by the traffic situation on the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway, as most of the containers transferred to the command are conveyed through barge. Inaccessible road equally means getting medical attention could be tricky, and this move is propelled by understanding the nexus between a healthy body and a sound mind. The Assistant Controller General in charge of Zone A, while describing the initiative as bringing healthcare to the doorstep of the people, added that it will boost officers' morale to effectively carry out the task of revenue generation for the federal government.
You need good health for officers to protect the borders effectively and also collect legitimate revenue. We can only facilitate legitimate trade, so we expect better compliance from our stakeholders and of course better revenue, and also with the e-customs automation coming up, we have increased revenue and also better service delivery to our stakeholders.
While being optimistic that more successes in its anti-smuggling efforts will be credited to the provision of the facility, the command said 29 40-foot and 3 20-foot containers were seized in 9 seizures in 2022 with duty paid value of more than 737 million naira, while the sum of 44.36 billion naira was generated as against 36.9 raked in 2021.
We were also able to establish a dispute resolution committee as one of our efforts at trade facilitation in the command, comprising the strategic units to address issues whenever they arise.
A new task awaits the controller as he resumes duty at the headquarters as the acting ACG in charge of excise, free trade zone and industrial incentives. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. It's time for a break. Nationwide will be back with Felicia in just shortly.
Still on to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Jos. Ahead of 2023 general elections, Interfaith Peace Summit is advising religious leaders and political parties to preach messages of peace, unity and harmonious living to their subjects for the overall development of the country. The Peace Summit, organized by Al-Habibia Islamic Society, held in Jos. Alisa Batukai Andrew has details.
The event, attended by leaders of various religions as well as stakeholders responsible for the success of the 2023 general elections, hinged on the theme Prosecuting Peaceful Elections, with emphasis on the role of faith communities.
We took the decision to engage in various parts of the country to make sure that people get to terms with working peacefully around elections.
Proactive move, to sensitize the people on the need for peaceful coexistence, peace during, before, during, and even after elections.
The lead speakers, Chief Imam of Kafanchan and Plateau State Khan Chairman, say as pulpit managers, the interests of the people and leading them according to the teachings of the Holy Book should come first, as peaceful coexistence is the basis for socio-economic development.
go and utilize messages from both the Quran and the Bible that speaks about togetherness, good neighborliness.
The religious leader has a duty, they should look at the common good of the people.
Goodwill messages came from the representatives of security agencies and political parties, emphasizing on promoting tolerance, peaceful coexistence and unity as a panacea for development. The key players urged participants to relay the peace messages to their various communities. In Jos, Alisa Botukari Andrew, NTA News.
Plateau State Police Command has paraded 6 suspects for criminal conspiracy, unlawful possession of firearms and ammunition. Rep Longdomtur reports.
The Commissioner of Police explained that the successes recorded could not have been achieved without the security strategies put in place. These include intelligence-led stop and search operations.
My renewed strategies in combating crimes and criminalities have disorganized criminal activities in the state and translated into what you can simply call Operation Victories, as evidenced in the recent recoveries of stolen vehicles, release of one of my dutiful police officers from the brutal hands of his captors in Panchin LGA, the release of His Royal Highness Reverend Dr. Aziwakili, the paramount ruler of Jos East Local Government, among others.
4 suspects were arrested and paraded for criminal conspiracy, unlawful possession of firearms and ammunition.
Police patrol team attached to Saber Highway Office of the Command while on routine vehicular patrol operation along Shane, Bukru Route, Jos South, AGA, intercepted a gold-colored Honda Accord car, 200 rounds of G3 live ammunition, 7.62 by 5.1 mm, 80 rounds of AK-47 live ammunition, and 56 pieces of Type O6 live ammunition, and 1 empty magazine were found in the vehicle.
2 suspects operating along Bukuru axis were also apprehended for car snatching. They are alleged to be members of a car snatching syndicate. In Jos, Replong Domsu, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Jos. Ifeoma is back to you in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia. 31st of January is around the corner, deadline for the use of some old Naira notes by the Central Bank of Nigeria. In Jigawa State, Hawa Halila reports that there is much acceptance of the old notes as residents lament scarcity of the new ones.
I'm a money agent. I come from far away Oyo town because the new money is not available there.
Closing the business becomes necessary because if I have collected old note, I don't have bank account to deposit it.
Someone just bought an item of 5,000 naira, but out of the total money, only 200 naira is new notes.
In Mina, Fatima Usman, who went round transaction points, reports that old Naira notes are still widely accepted, while most ATMs dispense the new Naira notes.
It's good. The withdrawal limit is small.
For the bank I use, I was able to withdraw just 30,000 naira, and then the other bank just 20,000 naira, and I have to pay like about 60,000.
From Abia State, Grace Nana reports on various cash points still dispensing the old notes, with those living in rural communities yet to have a sight of the new.
Especially that 200 naira, me, I have not even seen how it is. The 500 I have seen, but it has not come to my hand.
I think the federal government need to do more in terms of mobilization and centralization.
The story was different in Abeokuta, where Yemi Dalemo reports that customers lament on withdrawal limits at commercial banks.
1,000, which is the new rate, new note. So instead of using that 60,000 now for urgent need.
I only withdraw 20 and I was told I have entered limits.
Federal government has set in motion a mechanism to assess the impact of flood on road infrastructure in Nigeria following devastating flood that ravaged some parts of the country last year. This is at the instance of Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute. Justin Bem Unyi reports.
Just few months back, flash floods ravaged some states in Nigeria, in which roads and bridges were affected by overflow and stagnation water. and collapse of bridges in some cases. The challenge before pavement scientists now is to begin to look at materials and design specifications that would make asphalt pavements to be resilient in responding to flood impact without compromising the performance. This is why the Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute is now bringing in professionals and stakeholders in the road construction industry and disaster management to profile lasting and sustainable solutions to road infrastructures affected by flood.
Is there a way we can design our structure so that any time there is a flood next year or there is flood subsequent years, will our structure will still be tested? Will it have a test of time even when flood comes up?
The committee would look into assessing the impact of floods on road infrastructure in Nigeria.
The technical committee, drawn from different ministries and agencies, is to work out action plans towards investigating the causes and finding solutions to road infrastructural damages arising from flood effects and creating awareness on the need to fully embrace principles of sustainability and flood management. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Traffic in commercial city of Kano can be traumatic, especially in early hours of the day, but the desire by residents to enjoy free flow of traffic may soon come to fruition with the construction of Muhammadu Buhari Interchange Bridge. It is one of the landmark projects built for inauguration when President Muhammadu Buhari visits the ancient commercial city. Correspondent Mohammed Musa Askira files this update on state of the project expected to redefine intercity traffic in the town.
For those who are conversant with the ancient city of Kano, this is just one of so many chaotic points where traffic is heavily experienced. Commuters and other road users find it very difficult to navigate their way out to their places of business and work.
This is my regular way, so every time I used to face traffic problem.
As we are now, it can take them up to 15 or 20 minutes.
Traffic is too much. While the frustrating traffic situation experienced by citizens on transit in some of these locations will not last forever, as this Muhammadu Buhari Interchange Bridge is part of the solution to address the menace. In addition to addressing the traffic challenges, it is also adding to the aesthetic beauty of the ancient city of Kano.
This bridge is very beautiful.
The bridge is beautiful. I am happy.
It reminds me when I went to Saudi Arabia. I saw so many types of this bridge there. Actually, the government are being good.
As the three-layer interchange bridge awaits presidential inauguration in days to come, it comes with high hope of better traffic experience in the ancient city. From Kano, Mohammed Musa Askira, NTA News.
App-based transport workers in Nigeria are now better opportuned to advocate for more favorable working conditions. This is following the presentation of letter of approval to be registered as a trade union under the Amalgamated Union of App-based Transport Workers of Nigeria. Joseph Otson reports that the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, presented a letter to leadership of the union, tasking it to put welfare of member above all.
App-based transport system became more popular in Nigeria in 2014 in major cities like Lagos and Abuja. This informal sector business has now spread to almost every state of the Federation, creating a lot of jobs for drivers and easing urban transportation. Still yet, major actors believe it is not well structured, exposing its workers and customers to high risks of insecurity and poor working conditions.
Many of our members that continue to die as a result of insecurity on the app, the recidivism rates on the platforms with regards to the deactivation rates and also privacy issues. The generation of data is more concerned with companies. We need to have access to data of drivers.
Now the government wants this category of workers to also have a platform to drive their development and fight for decent work.
The certification and giving this recognition, apart from providing jobs to assist government to monitor the security component of transportation in your own subset.
There is hope by the Ministry of Labour where we will have a contractual obligation to have a say in the price of our service.
Now there will be no killings, and then the app companies will also respect our own.
The new union comprises of app-based transport workers, online transport services, and e-hailing drivers and operators. It now has 90 days after this letter of approval to come up clean from genuine petitions to be issued certificate of registration under the Trade Union Act. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
It's now time to join Kemi in Ibadan for more reports on Nationwide. Over to you, Kemi.
Welcome to Ibadan. Wife of the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Titi Abubakar says her husband, if elected in the February 25th election, will restructure the country to meet the yearnings of a southwestern region. She said these at the Southwest Zonal Town Hall meeting of the Women's Wing of the People's Democratic Party held in Ibadan. Lukman Hassan has the details.
Different speakers at the Southwest Zonal Female Town Hall meeting said the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, based on his antecedents, is the best presidential candidate that will bring in the much-needed peace and development in the country.
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has promised that he is going to give women at least 35% in his administration.
He's a man who has walked that path before, a man who knows where the shoe pinches the most.
What we need is to get our PVC and go out that day to vote and protect our vote.
Mrs. Atiku Abubakar noted that if elected, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will ensure devolution of power to the state and herald economic growth of the country.
Atiku said he wants to unify Nigeria so that we become one country. Atiku wants to bring an end to insecurity in Nigeria.
The town hall meeting was attended by the PDP members in the 6 states of the southwest region of the country. Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
The federal government has gone a step further in enhancing food sustainability in the country by releasing 21 crop varieties through the recommendation of a national committee on naming, registration and release of crops, livestock, breeds and fisheries. Kayode Oladoshu was at the event in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital.
25 crop varieties were submitted by researchers and agricultural institutes for consideration, out of which 21 were recommended for registration and release. The newly registered seeds are based on early maturity, tolerance to soil predator, and high yield in productivity.
It's an improved variety, and this improved variety is going to contribute immensely to the development of the crop section, to the development of farming system in Nigeria.
With the federal government's efforts to boost rice production in the country, a new variety, Faro 68, was released. What is the economic value of this rice variety to farmers?
The uniqueness of this Faro 68 is high yielding, that can give you a yield return of about 11.6 metric tons per hectare, as compared to 4 to 8 metric tons per hectare we've been recovering from earliest release variety.
Chairman, National Varieties Release Committee for the past 31 years, Chief Oladoshu Awoyemi, in his parting comment, noted that the continued effort of the committee and other stakeholders will no doubt keep Nigeria on the course for the development of agricultural sector.
The frontiers of knowledge must continue to expand so that we come abreast with the developed world. The varieties we release must be at par with what they are releasing in USA, in Kenya, and other agricultural countries.
The newly released varieties will boost agricultural productivity, nutritional value, and attainment of the desired level of food security in the country. In Ibadan, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues with Sadia in Sokoto after this timeout. Do stay with us.
Join us in Sokoto. As part of efforts at ensuring the security, welfare and well-being of the people of Sokoto State, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol has signed 2 executive bills into law and inaugurated the Al-Majri Nizamiya education model in the state. The latter Abdullahi has reported.
The bills signed into law by Governor Tambol are that of Arabic and Islamic Education Commission and the CAT and Endowment Commission. Governor Tambol said the bills are significant to the security, welfare and well-being of the people of Sokoto State. He commended Arabic and Islamic Board and the CAT and Endowment Commission for their tireless efforts in introducing the Nizamiya Al-Majli system of education, an Indonesian Pondok model tracing the history of Al-Majli system of education to the time of the founding fathers of the Caliphate. The adopted model will modernize the Al-Majli system of education to comply with the required standards.
These commissions are landmark commissions that are critical in addressing the needs of the people of Sokoto State.
Sultan Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar called for the implementation of the 2 laws to achieve the set goals. Speakers at the event stressed the significance of the bills in addressing the problems facing the Al-Majli education in the country. Governor Tambol honored Gwani Nura Abdullahi Bello, the overall winner in the memorization of the Quran with tafsir in the just concluded Quranic recitation competition. Gwani was given Hajj seat, 10 million naira, and a scholarship up to PhD level in any university of his choice. He was also turbaned at the Modibon Sokoto by the Sultan. Other winners at the competition were also honored by the governor. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his sustained collaboration with states to rid part of the country of insecurity. The governor was speaking when members of Senior Course 45 of the Department of Land Warfare at the Army Force Command Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State, paid him a courtesy visit. The report.
The contingent, accompanied by the Nigerian Army Garrison Commander Brigadier General Tai Ahmed, consists of 38 course participants, including 5 from other countries. Governor Tambol acknowledged that Nigeria is facing great security challenges, particularly in some parts of Sokoto State. He lauded the Nigerian Army for playing a pivotal role in ensuring that peace and security prevails in the state and the country. He pledged to sustain his administration's support at all times. The team leader of the Senior Course 45, General Farouk Mijinyawa, while conveying the college's appreciation, said their visit to regions of the country is to train the participants on how to manage military campaigns in combating insecurity. The course participants were also at the Sultan Palace. Sultan Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, who thanked AFCSC for the visit to Sokoto, assured of traditional leaders' support to military to succeed in their operations in the country. The visit is an opportunity for the participants to explore the long-rich traditional heritage of Sokoto Caliphate. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto for now. Nationwide continues with Informa in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. Now, the federal government is sustaining trajectory in promoting locally made machines and tools for agricultural revolution as the new Agricultural Machinery Equipment Development Institute in Lafia, Nasarawa State comes on stream. Governor Abdullahi Sule, while receiving Executive Vice Chairman of National Agency for Science, Engineering, Infrastructure, NASENI, Professor Mohammed Haruna, commends President Muhammadu Buhari for the project. Aliu Tijani reports.
Agricultural Machinery Equipment Development Institute, built by the federal government, is to promote research and innovations in the agricultural sector. with farm implements and tools expected to be manufactured locally for farmers. The institute will encourage farm mechanization. Realizing these objectives, federal government cited the institute in Lafia to serve the north-central zone of the country. Work completed and the institute ready for use. Governor Abdullahi Sule, while playing host to Executive Vice Chairman of Naseni, says the project will boost agricultural production in the state and beyond.
Happy now that you are telling me that indeed the project will be ready, but more importantly, it will be operational.
So it is those people with biases in science, engineering, and technology field. They are what the institute will use, and they are what the institute will train in future, and to teach farmers how to use the machines that will be produced in that institute.
President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to inaugurate the institute next week in Lafia. Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
Nigeria has launched a national emissions control program to manage pollution from generators and vehicles in line with the nation's revised nationally determined contribution and climate action plan. Onange Fineface reports.
Air is one of the most important natural resources for humanity and indeed all lives on Earth. The World Health Organization estimates 4.2 million deaths worldwide from ambient pollution, which is also responsible for lung cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, heart diseases, and stroke. This is in addition to numerous environmental problems caused by air pollutants, including acid rain, ozone layer depletion, and global warming. Nigeria's National Emissions Control Program provides for a generator control and vehicular emissions control program in response to global call to combat air pollution.
The programs that would not only reduce air pollution in our environment, but also reduce their attendant environmental and health issues, which emissions from power generating sets and motor vehicles causes. But much as we cannot do without power and transportation, so is the environment being highly polluted, resulting to environmental degradations.
Considering the magnitude of air pollution on the environment and human health, Nigeria cannot do it alone. Stakeholders' involvement is required. The National Climate Change Council will bring out the appropriate mechanism for emission trading schemes and in conjunction with Nigeria ensure compliance so that we have a whole of government approach.
Objectives of the program include creating public awareness on indiscriminate use of generators and vehicles and their environmental and health implications. Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has declared one Aro Aderinde wanted in connection with an ongoing drug trafficking case. The suspect was released on administrative bail after his arrest last year over a drug deal involving 3,149 kilograms of cannabis sativa exported to the Netherlands. The NDLEA says Aro has failed to comply with the full terms of the administrative bail.
He was granted administrative bail, which has some conditions attached to it, that he has to be reporting like weekly, like fortnightly, and he's not the only one. He's not the only suspect in that case. Others have been doing that, but he's failed to abide by the conditions of his bail. At the moment, I know it's just a matter of time. We'll get him back into custody and he'll be made to face trial.
Meanwhile, the suspect, Aro Aderinde, had earlier this month addressed a press briefing in Abuja where he refuted NDLEA's claim of his involvement in the said drug trafficking scheme.
Yes. They arrested some item in Netherlands. It's an export material, and my company name was there. But I wasn't involved. Somebody just used my company name. I don't know anything about it. It was not done in my office, and the investigation, they have done everything. I knew nothing about it. And all the people that are involved have confessed that I knew nothing about it.
On to electoral matters now. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has cautioned a section of the media against circulating fake news capable of hitting up the polity and undermining neutrality and integrity of the Commission. Resident Electoral Commissioner Cross River State, Professor Gabriel Yomere, were reacting to online publication that beavers machines are in Governor's Lodge, as 3,281 beavers distributed to the Commission are still in the Commission's office. Udwak Etim reports.
An online publication circulating on social media alleged that beavers machines for Cross River State have been moved into Governor's Lodge in Calabar. The resident electoral commissioner, who reacted at a press briefing in Calabar with Security and Interparty Advisory Council in attendance, described the allegation as false, noting that the number of beavers deployed from INEC headquarters to Cross River State office are intact and adequately secured.
As far as INEC Cross River State is concerned, no beavers left this office for anywhere. Not even one of the 3,281 beavers was removed.
We've concluded our investigation, our inquiry, and we're telling members of the public the assurances and guarantees that nothing has happened to the beavers.
Members of Interparty Advisory Council expressed anger and walked out of the meeting as they were not satisfied with the explanation given by INEC on the grounds that they did not see where the machines are kept for confirmation.
Beyond the desire to see the beavers, we are also requesting from here and now that we want to have access to every barcode that is attached to the beavers.
INEC says beavers machines are sensitive materials. As such, it will not compromise by exposing them. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
Next is sports.